Math Minutes Monday. I am Miss Richardson, and we are going to be talking about multi-step word problems for second graders. I'm going to write that down. Alright, so once again we are talking about multi-step word problems for second grade. Now I'm going to start off with a question. So, our question just going to write it on the board real quick. I'm going to try to write it big so you guys can actually see it. Alright, so I am going to read the question out loud to you guys, just so you guys can hear it. So the question that we're going to be starting off with is, at the circus there were 9 people in line for the Ferris wheel. If 3 people left to use the restroom and 7 more people joined the line, how many people total are in line for the Ferris wheel? So for those of you guys that are joining me today, and you'd like to work on the problem with me, I'll give you time to write that down. I am going to be leaving the question here, so I will not be erasing it to the end of our problem. So you guys feel free to jump in and write the question down. So today I am going to be talking about how to solve multi-step word problems in 4 easy steps. So I'm going to write the steps down underneath the question, and then we are going to go back referring to this question as we go through the 4 steps. So I'm going to write the 4 steps right now. And again, we're going to go back through these steps as we solve the problem. I just want them to be written down so you can see them. So, step 1, find the problem. Step 2. Hopefully you guys can still see me down here. Hopefully I don't need to move the camera. Look for keywords. Step 3, do the math. And step 4, solve the problem. Alright, so I'm actually going to move over to the next section of the board. I'm going to erase some stuff real quick. Hopefully you guys can still see me over here. I might need to redo this. Let's see. If you guys can't see me right now, all I'm doing is erasing a section of my board, just so I have more space to work with. Alright, so going back to our 4 easy steps to solve multi-step equations, I am going to start with number 1, which I don't think you guys can see me over here, so I'm going to turn the camera over. Alright, hopefully that was enough for you guys can see this section of the board over here. So I'm just going to rewrite number 1 up here just so you guys can see what I'm doing. So number 1 was find the problem. Alright, so if we are going back to our question right over here, usually the problem of the question is going to be at the end of the question. So I'm just going to read the question aloud one more time. At the circus, there were 9 people in line for the Ferris wheel. If 3 of them left to use the restroom and 7 more people joined the line, how many people total are in line for the Ferris wheel? So, if you heard that, you should be able to find the problem pretty quickly, but if not, I'm going to go over it, so don't worry about it. So, I'm going to actually underline what they're asking us to find or solve, which is how many people total, sorry about my marker, are in line for the Ferris wheel. So that is our problem. That's our main thing that we're trying to solve. So I'm actually going to write that over here in purple. So again, I'm going to try to write big so you guys can see everything. How many people in total are in line for the Ferris wheel. Cool. Alright, so step 1, already done. Check. Now we're going to move on to step 2. And we are going to look for, I'm actually going to write keywords in green, just so it stands out. Alright, so if you don't know what a keyword is something that's going to help you solve the problem. So as you guys can see, there's quite a few words in this question, but only a few of these words are keywords that are going to help you actually solve the problem. So in this case, with our question, we are dealing with addition and subtraction. So we're going to look for words that could also mean addition and subtraction without actually saying addition or subtraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 separate columns over here in number 2, and I'm going to write addition and I'm going to write subtraction. Again, in our problem specifically, we don't have anything that actually says 3, add 3 here, or subtract 6 there. That's not going to be in there. But there are going to be words that mean the same as addition or subtraction. So we're going to go back to our question. I'm going to read it again aloud. And I want you guys to be listening for words that mean addition and or subtraction. So here we go. At the circus, there were 9 people in line for the Ferris wheel. If 3 people left to use the restroom and 7 more people joined the line, how many people total are in line for the Ferris wheel? So if you don't know what a keyword is, a keyword is something that's going to help you actually solve the problem. So So I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to go back to the question. And then I'm going to start underlining and then explaining why I underlined those things. And hopefully you underline them too. Alright, so it's been about 10 seconds. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to underline in black our keywords that we're finding. Alright, so inside of our question, I found 3 keywords. So hopefully you found 3 keywords as well. So I'm going to start with the first one. So the first keyword that I underlined was left. So if somebody leaves something, that is another word for what? Do you think addition or subtraction? If you said subtraction, you are correct. So I'm going to write our first word under subtraction. They left. Alright, and then our second word that I underlined was the word more. So when you have more of something, do you think that's another word for addition or subtraction? More. If you said addition, great job, that is correct. More is another word for addition because you're adding more to whatever you had. So, more. All right, and then the third word that I underlined is join. Do you think if somebody joins something, do you think they're adding into somewhere, or do you think they're subtracting from something if they join something? Alright, so which one do you think I'm gonna write in? I am writing the word join, our third keyword, in the addition column. Because if you are joining something, you are adding into whatever was already there. So those are the 3 words that you guys should have underlined if you guys are following along with me. And that is going to conclude our second step, which is looking for keywords that mean either addition or subtraction. Now we're going to go on to our third step, which is do the math. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite number 3 over here. Do the math. All right. So in order for us to do the math, and remember, what are we trying to solve? We're trying to solve how many people total are in the line for the Ferris wheel. So how many people did we start with? Going back to our question. If you said 9 people from the 9 people that were in line for the Ferris wheel, you are correct. Great job. So I'm going to start with the number 9. All right, and then going on to our next sentence, we have 3 if 3 people left to use the restroom. So we're going to stop right there. So I know we have our left here, which we said was another word for subtraction. And it says 3 people left, so we're going to subtract 3. All right, and then we're going to continue reading our problem. And 7 more, which going back over to step 2, we said more meaning addition. So it's 7 more, so we're going to add 7 people. And then it says join the line. So I know we said join is another word for addition, but because we're talking about the same group of people that we already added, we don't need to add 7 more people because it's the same 7 people that we already added from our word more. I just wanted you guys to realize that join is also another one of those words that means addition. But we don't need to add 7 more people because we already added them here. Because it's referring to the same group of people. There's not 2 separate sets of 7 people that we're adding. It's only 1. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So we don't need to add any more. So then we're going to keep on reading our question. Now the last thing that we have in here is how many people total are in the line for the Ferris wheel. So there's nothing else that we need to add or subtract after we've read our entire question. So this is the math problem that we have here. So I'm going to draw a line there for us to solve the question. Now what I'm actually going to do, I just did that here just so you guys could see what I was getting each piece from, but I'm actually going to separate those into 2 separate problems. So I'm going to have the first part here for our subtractions. We have 9 minus 3. And then the answer that we get here, I'm going to have that there, and we're going to add 7 to get our answer. Alright, so I'm going to draw a quick number line. If you guys are good at mental math, that's awesome, but just in case you guys might need a visual. So I just wrote 1 through 10. Remember, 0 is here. And so we're going to start at 9. And then we are going to subtract 3. So 9, 1, 2, 3, which gives us 6. So I'm going to write 6 there. And again, if you already knew that, awesome. For those guys that might need a visual, there you go. Alright, and so we have 6, and we're going to bring that right up here to our next problem. So we have 6 plus 7. So unfortunately, I only did up to 10 down here, so we're not going to get to the full answer here. But we have 6 plus 7, and actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to continue it on. I'm just going to write up to 15. Again, I hope you guys can see this on the camera. Alright, so we are at 6. That's what we did. 9 minus 1, 2, 3. So 6 plus 7, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to give us the answer of 13. So I'm going to write 13 here. Alright, so now that we have done the math, now we are down to step number 4, which is our final step. I'm going to rewrite over here. And I'm going to move the camera because I don't think you can see me. Perfect. Alright, and step number 4, I'm going to rewrite it, which is solve the problem. Alright, now before we go into step number 4, I'm just going to swivel the camera back over to our question, just so you guys can see it without dropping the camera. Alright, so remember the question is, at the circus there were 9 people in line for the Ferris wheel. If 3 people left to use the restroom and 7 more people joined the line, how many people total are in the line for the Ferris wheel? So the actual question, the thing that we're actually trying to solve is how many people total are in line for the Ferris wheel. So going back to step number 4. Solve the problem, which is how many people total are in the Ferris wheel. So we just did the math, so we know the answer is 13. But remember, the answer to the question is not just 13, because we must remember to be specific. This is crucial when answering questions. I know when I was in 2nd grade, the teachers were very hard on us, and if we did not answer our question or our problem in a complete sentence, we got the question wrong, even if the answer was technically correct. So with our 13, we're not just going to write 13. We are going to write 13 people total line for the Ferris wheel. So now we have a complete sentence. We know exactly what the 13 means because we could just say 13 and we just know that there's 13 what? 13 people. What are the people doing? So with writing your answer like this, being specific, we know that 13 people total are in line for the Ferris wheel, which was again our question over here from the original question. So this has been Math Minutes Monday, where we worked on multi-step word problems for 2nd grade, where we answered this question here using these 4 steps that I have made to make it easier on you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week for another episode of Math Minutes Monday.